everybody, welcome to Cinema Trailer News. My name is Chris and this will be my review for Avatar 2. So this movie was a surprise because I thought the first movie was okay. I mean, it was groundbreaking in terms of the VFX and the technology by that time, but I think that the story wasn't strong enough. I had a few problems with the story, but here I think the story is much better in this time around. And I think that the characters are more interesting. So it was a very welcome surprise. And also this movie looks like James Cameron took the cool parts of Aliens and Titanic and put them into this movie, and it proves that James Cameron understands the audience, and it looks like it improves of what really works in the first movie, and what didn't work he makes some changes here, and I think that really helps the movie because this movie is much better, really much better than the first movie. No, so this time around, Stephen Lang's courage is front and center, and I really like his character in the first movie, but this time around, or what they did with his character, is something fascinating. I love his character this time around, and this is a non-spoiler review, so don't worry, but I found his second tour on Pandora infinitely more interesting and complex than Jake Sully. And I was like, that's interesting. And while the first Avatar was very much a romance, and this one is an emotionally about fathers and sons, while story-wise it's about military operation on both sides, and I love the star. Since Jake Sully, now leader of the Na'vi, has brought his military training and some of his equipment. They also steal a lot of other humans' equipment, in race, very much like the Native Americans taken from the colonizers, so they can even the playing field. They do the same thing here. So Jake Sully brought his military training to his people and run his family like an elite military squad, which I love. And I'm like, oh wow, now we're talking. And of course, that kind of action and character interaction is really James Cameron, also one of his sweet spot. And I think that all of us fans will be really brought back into James Cameron's circle. Those of us who prefer the Aliens and the Terminator movies, I think we're going to feel more like back in it, and that's really fantastic, at least for me. And while these two female characters might be highlighted in the poster, they are not actually a huge part of the story. The only female character who gets a lot of attention is Sigourney Weaver's Kiwi, Pandora's first superhero in the midst of her origin story, and she's just teased here, and they have only a small taste of her background powers, but I'm here for it. I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes, and so many questions. There's actually a little bit of a mystery about her, so I think it's an open and shut case, but it's also about what exactly going on with her, and which I think is a good hook for Avatar 3, and I want to find out the answers to these questions. But you get enough with her that you don't feel cheated in this movie. She also clearly has a romance brewing with human spider, and that's really interesting, just that in of itself, because she comes from Sigourney Weaver's human turn avatar. She's like an avatar human hybrid in some ways. No spoilers, don't worry, there's so much going on here. And with this human who thinks he's an avatar, and that's really cool. And Spider on his own is a very interesting character, and that's all I'll say about it. And I hope nobody ruins some of the surprises for his character, because that was a really nice discovery while watching the film. Now, the spell of Avatar 2 is more mesmerizing than the first movie, and I was impressed with the first movie. VFX and 3D, and I feel like I was transported to Pandora. This time around, this Avatar 2 is on another level, because this is probably as close as you can get to a total immersive experience where putting an actual Oculus headset or VR. I really feel Avatar 2 deserves to watch in premium screen and 3D. The movie going experience, it takes the movie going experience, I think, to another level, and it feels more like a ride. And you don't want that for dramatic films, but I hope to see it in comic book movies and Star Wars, etc. Jurassic World movies. Oh my god, that would be incredible to give this technology a try. Even beyond putting you on Pandora, the CGI acting is also incredible here, as well as the realization of those characters themselves. James Cameron has been talking some smack about Thanos, and which I think you should stop talking smack about other people's work just to build up your own. But it's true though, you're like, James Cameron, that means, but also correct. Here I thought I was looking at an actual living being. It was incredible. There's one shot or scene when Neytiri is on the ship fighting amongst all the water and flames. So you have all these elements around her, and she looked real. I felt like I could reach out to her, and she was in front of me. It was really cool, and the performances are much better, and the subtleties that the CGI is able to capture from the actors' initial performances translate to the CGI counterparts. It makes a huge difference. So you not only believe the character is real, but you're also able to connect with them. Something fascinating. My favorite character, as I say, by far in a way, is Stephen Lang's Courage. I think he has a lot more to do this time around, and I love a good military character who I say he has this incredible line. He has been reincarnated in the body of his enemy. And now he has his hoorah motivation speech, and it is brilliant. And I think this is just the beginning of his journey, and it was great. And I'm like, whoa, this is a good idea. In the original movie, his character was a bit broad, but here he wrestles with a situation that isn't so black and white even to him. His story becomes infinitely more interesting, therefore the movie itself, and it's a bit 50%, well, maybe not even 60% his movie. And this feels like if Cameron recruited the squad from Aliens to take her of this movie, and that's a fantastic idea. Yes, please. Now, on the other side, well, what's happening in the rest of the movie? Well, there's Jake and Neytiri's family. Well, despite Neytiri's strength and skills, and being basically the princess of what was originally her tribe, remember, Jake is the visitor. He's the one calling all the shots, both inside and outside of their family. And it was a bit disappointing to see Saldana's Neytiri not only take such a backseat to him when they were basically partners in the first movie, and she was in many ways leading him. But I think the most disappointing thing is that she spent a lot of the movie crying. She cried a lot. She quietly cried. She cried heavily. And it was a lot of crying. I don't know why Saldana always have this happen to her. I think was she going to have like a really amazing role, and at least in the third act she stepped up action wise, but I'm still hoping that Avatar 3 is her movie. The real focus on this side is Sully and his second born son Loak. are desperate to prove himself to his father and live up to his father, now legend with the tribe. It's a story as old as Hollywood, but it's a good story, so they keep doing it. It also, Britain Dalton does a fantastic job as Loak, and he knows to play a brother and teenage quite well. As for Sam Worthington, he spent most of his time giving out orders to his family, and that shorthand I think were much better here with his limited acting skills. So he comes across great, and also he has some more quiet introspective moments, and you're able to kind of breathe into his performance that really help his character. You also get a lot of story in 3 hours, and you may like, duh, of course. But what I mean is that there's a lot going on in this movie, and the cast has expanded exponentially, and you also have a lot more locations that are fully explored, and with several new elements by way they are introduced halfway through. I won't spoil here because they are generally a surprise and they have not played up in the trailers, so you're like, whoa, what is this? So it brings new life into the movie. So instead of just focusing the environmental message and the romance in the first film, which was not really my bag, here there's so much story being thrown at you and so many different type of stories that helps you keep you more engaged and sometimes feel more like a series in a good way. It's fascinating, and we may spend a little too much time in underwater exploring the Mechalina Reef, but I did feel like I was in the water, so I like that. So if you like aliens and Titanic, you're definitely going to enjoy Avatar 2. Because which borrows from those movies. It borrows heavily, particularly a lot from Titanic, but I guess borrow from the best, right? So if you enjoy those films, you're definitely going to enjoy this. And also it feels like a theme park attraction. So if you like those rides, I think you're going to, this is one heck of a ride. And also, I'm definitely watching this movie again. It's just the experience to have watching this film. It's incredible. And also, if you like movies overall, I think you should definitely see this on a premium screen, because unless this is not a huge success in the box office, which I doubt, I think this is going to be incredible, but I suspect it's going to change the movie business yet again. But it's really the ride and the unique and special experience of being in the theater watching this movie. So this one you should definitely go see. I think it's much better than the first movie, and I think the first movie was okay, but this one amazing. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribe to your channel, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.